Let's give a big hand. He's come a long way. Everybody, River Glen.
Adam.
Well, thank you so much. What a warm welcome. As is proper, can we just make a little bit more noise in appreciation for the first two acts this evening? All right. In general, I am known as what you might call a talker. I'm going to limit that this evening, and what I've done is cobbled together a set of my original tunes that's going to be a bit autobiographical. It's going to start kind of out like this, kind of come in and get more personal. I'll add little tidbits. But as was mentioned, I'm from Iowa, proudly so, as strange as it is to be an Iowan in so many ways. And I'll give away a little bit of my approach to music. You'll notice that there is elements of humor throughout. But I'll call it out. That is to disarm you a little bit so that the meaning might get under your armor a little bit. First song I'm going to play for you is called Midwest is Best. Midwest is best. Well, that's just something that we tell ourselves to say we're more than just some flyover states. The Midwest is best. Put it on a shirt and it's flying off the shelves, 'cause we're rich in idioms and family sayings. The Midwest is best, yes, if you don't count our unlivable wages. We've got a lot of heart, but our Catholic guilt comes in spades. The Midwest is best, the American dream, all its glory and neglect. The world's largest watershed, so beautiful and hella bent out of shape. We are the Midlands, the farmers, politicians pander to. We are the heartland, an example of what this nation's going through. Just look at the state of IOWA. The Midwest is best. Can we make it true just by repeating ourselves? We tease that the coasts are so full of themselves. The Midwest is best, yet our friendly disposition makes it kinda hard to tell. Our stake in this country's breadbasket getting wrecked. Ethanol empires and derelict rubber factories, hog lots and lead mines, and a sea of Roundup ready soybeans. The creeping omnicide, declining water quality, the deepening divide between rural and city folks politically. The Midwest is best, sure. We're down to earth, but we're also mundane. We kill them with kindness like protégés of Mark Twain. The Midwest is best. Count a generation since our great something's fled. The old country's where our ancestral bones are at rest. We slap a thigh and say goodbye by saying, well, okay then. Stopping at the door, we talk some more, and then we say goodbye again. The Midwest is best. That's just something that we tell ourselves to say we're more than just some flyover states. The Midwest is best. Well, that's just something that we tell ourselves. We know we're more than just a flyover state. I was born in Dubuque, Iowa, born at home. 4 Mounds Estate looking over the Mississippi River, but I grew up in Rickardsville, which according to the Postal Service is Durango. The zip code's 52039. It's crazy to be from such a small town. It's just one hill, baseball diamond, church, cemetery. There's a gas station a couple miles up the road, auto body shop. I wrote a song about it, and it's on that record, As Above, So Below, that, as Adam mentioned, features over 150 singers and musicians, almost entirely from the state of Iowa. It's a celebration of Iowa music. I did bring copies of that, both physical CDs and digital downloads. I'd love for you to take it home with you. So here's a little tune about my hometown. St. Joseph's Drive, no center line, I pedal bicycles and a baseball diamond. Just 7 kids, not one a girl, a little bit sheltered, a little immature. We got bored, we fought wars with ears of corn, hurling 4-letter words, getting sunburned, hanging down by the creek, being dumb, breaking shit, wearing out dirty jokes like true virgins. Growing up around a lot of silos and steeples and too few trees. Growing up around a lot of small town people and too few freaks. Privilege carried us while we picked up our parents' prejudices. Growing up a few little blue-collar middle Americans. Sweating in jeans, trot on the line with that stiff feel. Summer sunlight running uphill. Can't bear another fine from the bookmobile. Parked at the top of the lane, like across from the church of the same name. Neighbors dressed up worshiping. St. Joseph never seemed so strange. The stepfather of the son, they allege to love. Their kingdom come, their will be done below as it is above. Our grandpas reek of tobacco and nag about namas at a friend. Our grandpas work with bent backbones. They fought in wars and distrust the government. Our grandpas say kids are a handful, a sign of the times, a kind of absence. They say they never hit our fathers as much as their dad hit them. Growing up a few little blue-collar middle Americans. Silos, steeples, too few trees. Small town people, too few freaks. Silos, steeples, too few trees. Growing up, few little blue-collar kids. Silos, steeples, too few trees. Growing up, few little blue-collar kids. Silos, growing up around grandpas who still reek of tobacco. Growing up, a few little blue-collar kids. Growing up a few little blue-collar middle Americans. Well, it is a delight to come here. I'm under the assumption that I know like a small handful of you in the audience. By a round of applause, who's hearing of me and seeing me for the first time? Woohoo! It's always good to get in front of new people. I do the website and the internet thing, all the social medias, at River Glen Music. Would love for you to follow along. I have been on the road full-time now for somewhere in the realm of 14 months. And from this position, I don't recommend it. I love it, but yeah, you'd have to be like well-suited for it. I wouldn't, like, I'll say it a different way. I wouldn't want to inspire anyone to dive all in. Because I happen, like my brother, and it's a delight to be here sort of using my music to maybe add some context to who my brother is to many people in this area. By telling a little bit of our shared story here, growing up in a family band. Did a lot of busking at first. We were somewhere between, a band or a circus or a drinking band or something. Or an episode of, something. And it comes with all the glory and all the beauty that it was. But like so many things in life, you don't get to always only have that. There's sadness and there's regrets in it too. And quite frankly, if you ain't got regrets, live a little more. Get out there. Our family's got a whole lot of them. Adam might regret the putting me last here in just a minute. I kid. So I'm going to go all in on singing a song about our childhood, being in a family band called the One Hat Band. This is called Elderless Age. Raised by caffeine and a toke, a bottle and a smoke, in small town agricultural state USA, 1990s, which were musically pretty cool. But I was homeschooled, taught loosely, just be useful, to play hard, to work smart, that some systems don't fight fair. When we used to talk, when we used to stop for gas, we used to get harassed for being boys with long hair. And I could make music, I could move people before I was a teen. Sometimes electric, sometimes expensive, growing up living the dream. Coming of age in Midwestern civilization, where if you can then you should. Just a family band hustling concrete street corners just as much as we could. During George Bush Jr., my generation's first, what the heck was that? And it's been culture war after culture war since then, so we don't focus on class. In the age of machines, it's the Anthropocene. That's all, folks, we pass in the hat. We had a good run, drunk on family fiddle fun. Up next, more climate collapse. If I could put it all down, I'd put it all down. Over 10,000 hours drinking, joking, smoking flowers, singing pretty much the same few songs. If I could put it all down, I'd put it all down. All the times I regret, all of the times we knocked 'em dead, all of the long days and the long nights I do and do not ever want to forget. If I could put it all down, I put it all down. How we loved and we fought, how I don't wish that it were different. How even fun has a cost, and if you're not grateful, you might miss it. How the band broke up and took the family with it. How sometimes you lose, sometimes you get euchred. How we didn't do too bad for a few black sheep debukers raised in an elderless age. Raised in an elderless age, trying to find our way. In an elderless age, learning how to pray. In an elderless age, in this time and place. This elderless age. I've got one more song before I invite my brother to come up and join me. Well, I'm going to put him on the spot here a little bit. Good thing he's sitting in the front. He's never heard this song before, I don't believe. And it's a song I wrote for our dad. He turned 70 back in July, and, well, there's politics involved, there's family history involved, but it's one thing to be inhabiting a difficult position and to be speaking to it. And in some of those ways, for as unique and special as our family has been and meant so much to so many, turns out we're pretty average and pretty normal in a lot of ways too. Which is to say that we suffer some of the common afflictions or like common things that can tear a family apart a little bit. So we're rocking a little bit of a rift right now that I speak to because it's sort of my way of articulating a prayer out loud that we might keep working on it and that it might not stay this way. It's going to serve as one of those examples of how you can write something so deeply personal. I've only played it a handful of times. It has no title, but I have noticed in the few times I've shared it, it resonates with folks. It's almost like other people have fathers and complicated relationships. I would invite you to do that if you want to resonate with it and think about your relationship. It's a love letter. And I also tried to be true to my father's character and teachings named after him. His name's Michael Glenn. I'm River Glenn. So I tried to show him in a song for his birthday that I've been listening. And last thing I'll say before I play it is he's 70 and he's still alive, but to try and shake him a little bit, I wrote his eulogy. Well, he's still alive. If you knew my father, you'd be like, that's pretty funny. So here's my father's eulogy. Well, he's still alive. My father was a grocer, but that don't say it all. He taught folks about their health whenever they walked in or called. Where I ate well and watched, where I worked and learned what he used to say back in the day at the food store where he gave his wealth away. My father was a gardener, still that don't say it all. He cared about our waterways and the well-being of the soil. He planted and watered, he weeded and dug. He'd pay wayfarers to help them out if they needed a buck. My father was a townie, a kind of pseudo-local historian, just always had to ask him about the Jesse James gang, what they done and where they been. When he talked to an unfamiliar, he'd ask them for their grandparents' names. He'd like to know where all the old roads go, as well as who lived where and when. My father was a songwriter on a real small scale, he made it big. He worked on his songs for far too long, but damn, Backwood Buck was a hit. And you'd be hard-pressed to find another guitar player who could change a string as fast as him. It might be hard to believe it, but trust me, I've seen just how fast he could break one again. My father was a learned man, he really knew how to read. A little self-nomadic, yes, my father had coyote energy. My father was a damn good cook, and he could whip something up on the fly. He had a way with simple but tasty, and every few years, he'd bake a pie. My father was an athlete, he might have been as good as he said. When he coached my baseball team, he made sure every kid got to play. My father was of a bygone time, he grew up slinging beers in a bar. He studied anthropology, the planets, moving constellations and stars. My father was an activist, effective every now and then. With no shortage of heart and calloused hands, he was one hell of a handyman. When I'd ask about life, he could give such good advice, and then just bitch about something my mother did. When he would yell, it was a lion's roar, just like so many fathers before. He gave the church up, but stayed faithful to his cups. He judged himself a rebel most days. My father was a kind of cowboy, even if it's a little funny to say. My father was a peacemaker, he wasn't big on punishment. A couple of times I gave him lip and he kicked me in the shin. My father wasn't perfect, he knew, we knew who is. My father was like a father to a lot of other kids. My father was a kind of legend for all he'd done and how he lived. His legacy, his influence live on so long as I don't forget that my father was a grocer, and that don't say it all. He taught folks about their health whenever they walked in or called. Where I ate well and watched customers take their turns for what he used to say back in the day at the food store where he gave his wealth away. All right, without further ado, we welcome to the stage Jacob Henry, Fiddle Ninja, the one and only.
Per your request.
Oh, yeah. Yo, I gotta get a cool photo with you on the background.
No, you gotta be bigger than that. Come
Oh,
on.
come on, everybody! All right, we'll work on audience participation. We are but 2 of 5 siblings, and my parents
That we know of. On our side.
So obviously, comedy is not our forte, so that's why we do music. But our parents made a questionable decision, which was they were like, all 5 children should play the violin. So they had like just 2 decades of squeaky violins. But we're so grateful for them. And Jacob and I have been the probably the 2 hardest working professional musicians out of the family. It is lovely to see Jackson.
Bragging?
I am, yeah. Well, we have our other siblings like getting back into it. They're having a sort of a reprise in their interest. So it's cool to see our sisters got a band called Maple Flow and the Goats in Hawaii. Our brother Jackson, who's out in Eugene, Oregon, has a band called, forgive me, it's not my band name, John Badger and the New Old Time Apocalyptic Revival. Wow. Hard to put that on posters. And so for this next song, keeping it autobiographical, here is an exact accounting of going out to Eugene to visit our brother Jackson and to see the new life that he started there with his beautiful, wonderful partner named Myra and their little daughter, Lilikoi. So inspired by the request of Myra to write a song about the visit, here is Me and You and Eugene. And before we play it, I've played some songs off of the record As Above, So Below that I have if you want to take a physical CD or digital download home with you. There's all sorts of music videos and everything online. I'd invite you to play along in that regard. This next song is on my forthcoming record, which will come out in the first half of next year. And for everybody who signs up on my email list, you'll get the record for free when it comes out. So if you like this next one, maybe consider signing up on the email list. Yeah. Keep it? All right. Me and you and Eugene in the summertime, coming up, coming on, getting out outside, getting wild. Me and you and Eugene, cruising borrowed bikes, breaking sweats, making bets on frisbees, late nights rolling dice. And in the morning we act tough like we better than we are. We quick to commence shit, talking again like we're holding all the cards. Me and you and Eugene, bumping music in the car, staying up way late, watching movies, Rick and Morty, Mario Kart. Me and you and Eugene, fiddle and guitar, a trip to the ocean, talking about Tolkien, singing songs to the sunset, singing songs to stars, campfire on the beach, sipping every kind of rum. Gonna party till we dead, till we do it again. 2 brothers, just 2 brothers living large. A couple of years now, we've been mostly apart. You flew to Eugene, me too much time in my car. A couple of kids too, in some ways had a late start. Supposedly homeschooled, mostly just made to make art. Thick skin, our armor, living in pain and paradise. Now we both have beautiful partners, these shifting paradigms for us to realize. We're growing up, getting on alright, wondering what's it mean to be alive. Me and you and Eugene, just fucking up the home of the Ducks, getting buzzed on craft cocktails, hitting up all them food trucks, hiking up Mount Pisgah, skin burning red, helping out a friend, tripping, tearing down a shit, and wishing we could do it all again. Me and you and Eugene in the summertime, coming up, coming on, getting wild. All right, for this next one, we're gonna swing to a little bit a different part of the spectrum of where folk can be stretched. I'm not able to bring my full band this far out on tour. We mostly just play in the Midwest. And it might push more to like a folk rock thing at that point. But I said autobiographical, so here's one of the first songs I wrote. It was to myself as a young man going from being homeschooled to entering into a big university. It's like a bit of a jungle. You get eaten alive there. So I wrote myself a tune. It's called Nothing Is Too Little. You're unhappy making minimum wage, and you're having trouble acting your age, knowing better men have been bent this way. But listen, we all sing these songs. Should I back up quick and split your stay? And all them other kinds of wasted days. It's true, it never gets better, but listen, nothing is too little to live on. Can't get your head straight, can't get your bed, it can't contain the self-hate, can't get yourself laid, and you keep looking around the bar, but you don't have to hide. So again, you're going home alone to your apartment. You wonder, did you make all of the right decisions? Always hanging out late nights in the kitchen, keep catching yourself finishing the dishes just to sink that ship full of failed prediction. You're unsure where you ought to set sail. Young love is desperate and that old love is stale. Being alone is like being in hell. Skip write them weak songs and you sure sing them well. And that's so supercalifragilistic, way too esoteric. Making music, making magic, but you need some better lyrics. You got spirit, we can hear it, and no speaker interference. Still have no idea what you're saying. You just set up, sing, strut, stripping, people, kids, cash. These people pack, pray, puff, puff, pass. Tripping on your trend, slipping on your class. Took the desperate for attention like it's track. No, 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 you're unhappy making minimum wage, and you're having trouble acting your age, knowing better men have been bent this way. But listen, we all sing these songs. Should I back up quick and split your stay? And all them other kinds of wasted days. It's true, it never gets better, but listen, nothing is too little to live on. You worry that you're testing lady luck when you're confident it won't be mule stepping in your style. If you're stomping it, you got a compliment. A player hated by nature, silly savior stating by his bad behavior. Unrestricted, addicted to typical coming of age, but he could be comfortable with this animal outside of the cage. You still aren't that easy prey. I know you're everywhere, keeping from growing up into a problem. You're always working late, hot is so hollow, like a minimum wage. Rotten role model, keep on picking up plays, passing out bottles to get there and paid. Couple days late and it's a dark meat market. Let's skip the misconception, ditch is hard, then your shark pay $20, 30 seconds. You girls don't get carded, but you got to sell your presents and it never ends. Heaven's in the everyday evidence that rhythm and women are the real religion. The dance in the morning, a weapon will get sworn. If you just learn how to shake your thing, she might put down her weapons and bang, bang, bang.
My bigger little brother. I am the oldest. They'll never take that away from me. I am the oldest of 5.
River Glen. We all go by our middle names. That's why he's not using Breitbach as his last name, and I go by Fiddle Ninja because I'm just not going to use my first name even. He is from Iowa, but he has Canadian residency, so I have my anchor baby up north, just in case hit really shits the fan. Thank you all for coming out. Thanks to Adam Sorsha for hosting all these beautiful events. Take a bow, Adam, take a bow, sir. It's a labor of love, I know. It's been a real honor to have River here every 6 months or so. Look for him back in the spring. He's a biannual touring agent. Thanks to you all for coming around. And it is a real honor to be on stage with my brother again here. Thanks for coming out, Riv.
And to cap it off, a song that's entirely made up of an entirely different story and has nothing to do with our lives.
Finally.
Woo! Jake's like, enough with this musical therapy stuff. Absolute pleasure. This is a tune I wrote called Autumn Leaves. It's just one of those love stories of a love that develops over, one of those summers. And like so many, it doesn't last. Been a real pleasure, folks. I hope you'll come and I'll be like up here at the front afterwards if you want to sign up on the email list or grab yourself a CD. Well, they met walking in a starry field. Decided summer loving was a bad idea. You'll get your heart rocked, but why not? She was always hanging with them cool kids. He was making mountains of the things he'd missed out on so far in life. So he slipped her his sweater, said, "Can we get together tomorrow night?" She whispered, "Dress for a good time." And so they both floated home a little less alone on the inside. They couldn't get the other out of their mind. Well, she opened the door, her hair cute and curly. She was ready to go, and he'd arrived early, nervous like a first time, but she didn't mind. She took him down off the wall and pulled him out on the floor, and then they beat their feet like leaving's the chore, and said goodnight like a sun going down. He said that she was fun. She slipped him some tongue and pulled him inside. And he laughed so hard he cried. 'Cause she was a sinner and he was a beginner under cotton skies, to loving another with open eyes. Because her parents were cops, he was her first high. It wasn't breaking the law. After a little bit of dancing, little getting down, she was sure that he'd prefer to be hanging out. She put her best dress on and took him for a ride. Felt like shade in June, felt like her birthday was soon, felt like her knots untied, like laying in the grass when it's warm at night. So 6 weeks slipped by with him by her side, attached at the hips. So sweet it made you sick. 'Cause in the heat of the long August hours, something sweet can quickly sour. So she just owned it. She made no plea for atonement. She took leave in that moment. 'Cause she wasn't running to everybody's number at the right time, was just scared to settle down. And he was a bummer till he became a left him was a note sign. Please don't cry or any of that. Summer's going, I'm going too, and I'm taking love along. When you read this, I'll be gone. 'Cause we agreed we're walking in the starry field. Our summer loving's a seed that we wouldn't let yield. So if your heart's right, but why not? Yeah, some people talk about love until it shows up, and some change their mind. Some are yellow and it shows sodomy. Oh, some are yellow and it shows sodomy. Oh, some are yellow and it shows.
River Glen and the Ninja Fiddler.